Hi there, Ronnie here, coming at you with a video. I do apologise if you can hear the Hoover upstairs. My neighbour is hoovering. So last night we completed the final chapter of the epic massive Nyarlathotep campaign. So this is going to be a slightly longer video because I'm going to talk about this chapter, which was Australia, and then my thoughts of the campaign as a whole. The campaign had been running for over 60 sessions and started in June of 2020, so it's been not a kick in the arse of 2 years. Obviously we didn't play every Monday. We've had Mondays where we've been off and so on. Firstly, talk about Australia. Really intense, really different setup, because it was far... As players, we knew we were in the last part of it, and we weren't taking any chances. So we did a lot of prep, because our characters had to go into the middle of a desert, and that was a lot of prep, and it was important for us to do that prep. Because we were going to be travelling out in the open for days, if not weeks, on end. And we could easily have been picked off one by one by cultists and minions and nefarious creatures and so on. My Scotsman died, and I ended up playing the last 2 sessions as one of the sort of NPCs that was with the party. It was pretty much an extended cameo. I think with Australia we felt a little less sure of ourselves with regards to how we were going to go about things, based purely on the fact that we were dealing with such a large area. Unlike America, where it was all pretty much centered on New York, it was pretty much centered on London, a little bit of a trip north, but London. And even then, we're only talking a couple of 100 miles and not a couple of 1,000 miles in the case of Australia. Egypt, Kenya, even China was all relatively small. In terms of Australia, we were bouncing coast to coast. We started at the north, we ended up going to the east coast, and then to the west coast, and then into the middle of Australia. It was... and we didn't have that many clues to follow up on. We succeeded in doing the ritual and all the rest of it. We took down the main 2 cultists that were there, Houston and Penhu. Houston was taken down incredibly easily by Phil and Giorgio, but I know that a lot of people have played Massive Nyarlathotep. I know that a lot of people will play Massive Nyarlathotep. But I am sitting here fairly confident that no one will have thought of the way that we took out Penhu. I think the solution that I have to say mostly Becky came up with Um, and it started almost, with Becky, it started almost as an offhand, because she was alone in a room with him. And it was an offhand way of sort of buying time. She was trying to buy time for us to come in and help her. She wasn't being the damsel in distress. She was just she'd went first and was investigating, and Penny had caught her, and we were sort of on our way. So she was trying to buy time till we got there, so we could sort of overpower him. It was certainly unique. It was understandable given the circumstances. Her character sort of fell back in her feminine wiles to sort of seduce him. And whilst he was being seduced, she sat on his face, and whilst he was prone and unable to do anything about it, the three of us basically, I sort of stamped him in the nuts, and Phil and Giorgio shot him at close range, point blank range, while he was prone. So technically a coup de grace, but we got the damage anyway. I don't think anyone else is ever going to come up with that solution. I think it's unique. It worked. Overall, I enjoyed Australia, although I did feel personally as a player, I was floundering a lot more in Australia than I had in previous chapters. I felt far more out of my comfort zone there than I had up to that point. The group just play hilariously well together. It's good fun. And whilst it's wrong to say that we turn Cthulhu into a comedy, because we don't, there's a certain gallows humour, a certain survival instinct where you find humour and horror as a coping mechanism that was used a lot, and I think that's perfectly fine. So I thoroughly enjoyed the chapter. It was great. What about the campaign as a whole? I've never played in a game that long. And yes, it's true that none of us started the characters we ended with. We were all on our fourth characters. And we kind of reached that fulcrum point where we wanted to get it to the end. We wanted to play through the whole campaign. And because it's all on YouTube, we have a record of it. I really enjoy playing with Becky and Phil and Giorgio. I think we've got a good energy about us. I think there's a nice interplay, which I really enjoy. Overall, the campaign is incredible. So much detail, as is want with Cthulhu. So many things we missed, but with something that big and sort of scale, you're going to miss things. Either that, or you end up possibly getting bogged down in minutiae. where you end up not playing a role. And most of the stuff we missed was stuff we didn't know we missed. You know, it's one thing to miss something that was kind of there, but it's another when you don't really know it's there and you don't follow it up. And that was mostly the case with us. So yeah, Becky and Phil and Giorgio, superb. I still feel, and this is much to do with personal self-esteem than anything else, that sometimes I am the sort of the one holding them back and weighing them down. But I do enjoy playing it. I have to say, a huge round of applause to Jason. Because the amount of work that he had to do for that campaign, I think could have killed lesser men. And he did superbly. Kept everything interesting and intense. Evoked the right atmosphere at the right time. I thought he did superbly. My hat's off to him. Round of applause, which I did give him last night. Actually, I gave him a round of applause because I thought he was superb. Overall, really enjoyed the campaign. Grateful to be part of it, and yeah, looking forward to whatever's coming next. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and I'll be back soon with another video.